bait right there. You wait until tonight. This is personal now, okay? You don't want to attack me while I'm mowing. You son... Nope. It's sundown, we ride. I got the foaming kind, and then I got the long range rifle right here. Double fisting.
To say that I'm nervous is an understatement right now. But don't worry, I'm prepared. Those things are still flying. Mother. Yep. And that's how it's done. Might regret this. It's been maybe 10 minutes. Okay. Oh, I see bees. Yes, sir. I still got a little left. Then want to come back for more. So yeah, earlier this week, I got attacked while I was mowing the grass, and I had no clue what hit me, but I just know it hurt. Freaking hornets. I found them a day later. I did finish mowing. I was looking for yellow jackets. I was looking for holes in the ground, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, they lit me up. My arms swelled, my hands swelled. I had a fat hand. My chest swelled because I got hit in the chest. And it was personal, okay? So, SWAT team here. They're murdered hornets. You heard of those new murder hornets? They're the murdered hornets. I'm the hornet murderer. So he said exactly where I thought it was warped. He said he had to take 5/1000s off to get it fully surfaced correctly. So he said, yeah, it was between cylinder 2 and 3 it was warped. Alright, so according to the machinist, he says that he only took 0.005 or close to 0.005 off, which is, he said, is about as thin as a piece of paper, and he says there's no need for a thicker head gasket. I honestly didn't know, so that was good of him to let me know. We still have a lot of things to clean up before I start slapping this back together. Plus, I don't have everything. One thing that hasn't made it here yet, that I told you guys I wasn't replacing, and I know in the comments you guys were going, I can't believe you're not replacing that, is the timing chain. The timing chain's on the way, but it hasn't made it here yet. So I'm not gonna be doing the chain in this episode unless it shows up today. But we can clean up the surface of the block and get the head put on there, and then possibly the intake and the exhaust. We can do all of that. Another thing I haven't received yet is that O-ring for that coolant housing right there. I am still waiting for that. Hopefully it gets here today, because I'd like to bolt that on and get that part done. But regardless, we got a lot of cleaning up to do on that, and I still have cleaning up to do on the head itself. And what I'm going to use to clean these aluminum surfaces, and I don't know that you guys will agree with me, but I'm going to use, I have these little plastic bristle things that go on the end of my drill, and they're plastic. Okay, they're not, it's not abrasive to the aluminum, but it'll clean up all the stuff that's on here. Let me see if I can find one. All right, so I have several different kinds, but they're, as you can see, they're just plastic bristles. I got that one. I got this one, which feels a little softer. And then I got a green one that it looks like I've used already. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use a fresh one. And then I got other ones too that are for like on your flap wheel. But I don't think this one would be that abrasive either. But we're going to use these to clean it up. We're not using Scotch-Brite. We're not using sanding pads or nothing like that. Just plastic bristles. Whether you agree with that or not, that's what I did on that SS, and that thing's still going. So that's what we're doing on this one. Oh, we can't do the intake yet because I'm waiting for this gasket as well. I ordered this with that coolant housing one. So, yes, there's no way, well, unless I took the rail off and then put it back on. I could put the intake on and then bolt the high pressure fuel pump up later. I don't know what I'm doing yet. We'll see. Let's try her out. Now, since I was spraying brake clean on all that, and those two middle cylinders are down, I'm going to put a little bit of assembly lube inside those cylinders. I'm just going to dip a little more on my fingers and wipe it on the cylinder walls, because I cleaned all the oils and everything off of the cylinder walls, so I don't want to get any on the head, but I'm just going to do this just as a precaution, so it's not completely dry in there. Now, like I said, don't have a timing chain, so I can't finish what's going on right here. I do have a rag shoved down in where it drops down into the oil pan. I need to get a little bit more there, because I need to scrape all this gasket material off, but I'm going to do that after I have the head on. Not worried about that gasket, because I can access that with the head on. Right now I want to focus on getting this head back together the way it's supposed to be, and then make sure this is 100% clean, and setting it on the car. So I'm going to use that plastic thing again, clean this up, and I think I can just wipe the intake area with brake clean and wipe it down. Alright, next I forgot about, we need to clean in here. Let me see if this light's still got some power to it. And right now is the perfect time to clean these intake valves. As you can see, they're all gunked up. And what I'm going to do is spray some brake cleaner down in there. And that's going to hopefully not leak through the valves, but it's also going to eat a lot of this carbon, and then I can get in there with a little wire brush and hopefully knock a lot of that loose. No leaks, so that's good. I'm pretty sure they check all that up there at the machine shop, but I have them filled up to the point now where it's going to loosen all that carbon deposit. Oh, I had to put a little bit more in the first cylinder. Then I'm going to get in here with a small brush, agitate it, maybe a pick, honestly, or a flat screwdriver. But I'm just going to get in here and agitate it, and then we're going to vacuum these out or blow them out and have a lot better looking valves, a lot cleaner looking. This is a common thing on direct injection engines because the fuel doesn't contact the valves anywhere because of the fuel is squirted directly into the cylinders. So this is a common issue with any direct injection engine, and it is good practice to run not a fuel injection cleaner, but to run a cleaner through your intake like Seafoam or something like that, maybe every oil change, just so it cleans this intake track out. It'll prolong this thing that I'm doing right now. I did this on that Audi and it was horrible. It was to the point where it was probably about to start misfiring. This one, not so much, but right now is the time to do it. Good as that's gonna get. I might have to power wash this whole head. I think I might do that. There's gunk on this. I did get engine cleaner and I already have the power washer out, so it kind of makes sense to do this, but I think I'm gonna take it out and just power wash this thing and get it all cleaned up. It just makes sense to me. Hey, guess what came in the mail today?
These nuts.
Oh. Now because of that, I got this thing like extremely clean. Some of you might have thought that was harsh using a power washer. It's aluminum. I mean, I blew all the moisture off. I even blew the tag off of the head. There's a tag right there, which the tag said the same thing that's stamped in it, so I don't understand why there was a tag on there. But clean the bottom, ports, everything looks way better. Even in here, this was, I mean, it's still stained, but it's a lot cleaner. I still need to clean this front surface, but we'll get to that after it's on. Right now, there's the direct injection port, and I have these, I wiped them up, and I think I'm going to clean the ends of them real quick, just wipe them off as best as I can, and get these direct injection injectors back in. So I took the pump off since I'm still waiting for this gasket. That should be simple enough to do on the car. For now, it's better to leave it off. So that's what I did. Might be ready to set this thing on here. Now my only concern, oh yeah, let's put the exhaust on it because that manifold is all pain. So I'm going to go ahead, put new gaskets on the manifold, throw it on there, and then we'll put it all on as one piece. That gasket back there, I can get to it with the head on. It's going to be tight, but I can do it. So as long as I have this pipe disconnected, the coolant pipe, you can see I have a little bit of flex in it right there to get it out, to get the gasket on. So hopefully that surface stays clean by there now that I washed it really good. Actually, let me clean that off with a razor, and then we'll continue on.
I feel the liquor holding on to my breath, playing back every word that I said. I'm sitting in the dark, reminiscing on the two of us. I didn't think you'd leave, baby, I guess I was just thinking that wasn't my best. We had everything, it was gone before the summer started. Got the memory of a love filling my lonely nights. Still think about you from time to time. I'm not asking you to come over, just wanna hit your line, baby, one more time. So tomorrow in the morning, can I call you when the sun comes up? Just to hear the way you say my name, it reminds me of what it was. Would you answer if I called you? Yeah, I know that it's been a while. So tomorrow, can I call you when the sun comes?
Alright, so we're on. It's just, I didn't even let the Ugga Duggas go. I just ran them down in with the gun because they're really long, but it took forever. Sorry about my high beams. I need to look up torque specs. I'm pretty sure it was like 22 foot-pounds, then 180 degrees. Let me look it up first. Alright, so you can see here. Let's go down to the block here. You're going to torque these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. From the inside out. And I'm pretty sure it's a dual torque. In that sequence, the 22 foot-pounds. I'm probably going to do 25 because I'm using Harbor Freight wrenches. So I'm going to do 25 foot-pounds just because. And then an additional 190 degrees. So let me get my Harbor Freight torque wrench out here and get these to 25.
Call you when the sun comes up.
I did a second pass on that because that gasket smashes down when you do the first couple, and then as you go it smashes down even more. Those first two, I got another little bit of a turn out of them before it clicked. In fact, all the center ones had a little bit more, and then the outer ones were pretty much on 25. So now I need to go 190 degrees from where I'm at now. So I'm going to get a bigger wrench out for that, and we're going to do 190. Alright, if you haven't seen one of these things before, they're cheap. And what you do is you set this on there, set your wrench, and then put this on a point where it's going to hit, and it's going to stay still. So as you see, that's going to turn separate from the socket. You're going to set that to 0, and then you're going to turn it to 190. Do you see it?
Let my words do the rest. Can we light up a spark, bring a fire to the dark? Girl, you know that I need you. I got the memory of a love filling my lonely nights. Still think about you from time to time. I'm not asking to come over, just wanna hit your line, even if it's the last time. So tomorrow in the morning, can I call you when the sun comes up? Just to hear the way you say my name, it reminds me of when it was us. Would you answer if I called you? Yeah, I know that it's been a while. So tomorrow, can I call you when the sun comes up?
Now, I do have all the timing components now. So, I don't know if I have the right RTV. I have RTV here. I need to get all this cleaned up really well, and then get all the timing components in. So, might as well. I'm going to put assembly lube. I have Lucas assembly lube. I've had this for a while. Where the cams go, I'm going to put it on the lifters, the rollers, the cam bearing area. So this isn't a dry start. We are going to crank this thing over by hand after we get all the timing components in, but for right now, that assembly lube needs to go in all of those journals, and put a little bit on the valves, and then I can get all the keepers and stuff in. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that, because I need to get the valve train in now. I gotta put that bucket in. This bucket has to go in first before we do that, because if I don't do that, then I won't be able to get this thing in. Alright, now this camshaft sequence is a good bit different, okay? I gotta tighten all of, not the front ones, but all the camshaft bolts, just the regular clamps. Gotta tighten them all to 71 inch-pounds, then back them all off 180 degrees, and then tighten them again to 89 inch-pounds twice. That's what it calls out. And then the front ones, what does it call out for those? It doesn't say. I'm going to assume they get tightened the same. So, anyways, I got to get my other one out, because this is foot-pounds. I got to get my inch-pound ones out and go to town. Alright, cams are in, case is cleaned. I'm going to do the same treatment to the timing cover as I did the head. I'm going to take it out and power wash it. But I need to go get, I'm out of brake cleaner, so I need to go get some brake cleaner. And I'm going to get some good RTV for doing this case. And then once we get that all cleaned up, I can get the timing components in, get it timed up, and then I like to hand crank the motor over after I get it timed up, just to make sure everything is good. That's what, like, a lot of people just throw the timing together and throw it back together. If you timed it wrong, that's when you're going to find out whenever you crank it. If you hand crank it, you'll feel resistance, and you'll know that you're out of time because your valves are hitting. So that's why I always hand crank it over, and I always do several revolutions before I decide that I'm correct. I don't know if you remember what this case did look like, but it was more so like this the whole way, instead of what it looks like now. And this is from power washing it outside. I stayed further away when I sprayed around like the seal here. This seal's still in really good condition, and I'm not replacing it. As you can see, it's clean. It's nice. So like I said, sprayed that from a distance just so I didn't damage the seal. This is all the cleaner the outer side came, which is still a lot better than it was. It was like this the whole way. Just still grimy. I missed that spot, but that's not going to hurt anything. It looks pretty good. But it's time to slap some timing components in this thing. I'm going to have to use a wrench to hold the cam in the area where it's supposed to be when I time it. Just for now, I'm going to slap the chain in, line up on my marks there, and then the one down on the crank, and then we'll get the guides and the tensioner in. Alright, so that's really hard to do because the cams want to roll, and it tells you in the instructions to, you know, get the intake and the crank sprocket aligned, and then to rotate it with the intake cam to align the exhaust cam. I could not do it. I tried forever. I ended up putting zip ties around the sprockets, every one of them, after I got it lined up. That held it in place, and then I had to turn it over to get the guide away. All the guide bolts are 18 foot-pounds, and the directions says the pivot guide doesn't say anything about the tensioner, so I'm assuming the tensioner is also 18 because it's the same size bolt. So I tightened it to actually 20 because it's a Harbor Freight wrench. So, you know, you want to make sure to make a good tightness there. So now I got everything in there. I just want to turn this over. I'm just going to turn it because I want to see the mark on the crank, and I want to see they're lined up. I can't see the mark on the crank because I got a zip tie around it. So currently, there's that one lined up, and that one lined up, and then you get a better view than I do, but right there, that one's lined up. So I went ahead, pulled this pin out. That's going to allow the tensioner to tighten up, and that's what we want right now. We want it to tighten up. So, as you can see, it's letting it ratchet a little bit. So I'm going to cut these zip ties off, and then I'm going to crank this thing over several times. Just making sure everything's free and that we don't have any binding. Okay, so I can't tell you how many revolutions I went around there, but I want to check my marks now since they're closer. And right here is a timing mark, and we are 1, 2, 3, 4 lengths ahead of that. So that's right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 lengths ahead of that. And then down here, can't see because my light went out. 4 lengths behind down there. So it didn't jump at all. Everything turns over smoothly. And I believe we can take the crank bolt out and get the timing cover back on. And that's all the further I'm going to get on this episode. So let's go ahead and do that. So anyways, that's going to be the end of this episode. So if you like this video, smash that like button, consider subscribing, drop me a comment. Have you ever worked on one of these 2.0s? What did you work on it in? Was it a Camaro? A Buick? A Cobalt SS? Is the job the same? Hit that dislike button if your mom's always right on time.
See you on the next episode of
Alright.
Hi, Sheldon. Where's your brother at? Soul Man is being picky with his food. We don't know if he's sick. Not him. Sully. Sheldon's good. I know I'm stinky, huh? Stew Man's always good. Yeah. He's like, Daddy, you're stinky. Don't touch me. Yeah. Here's Miss Stella. Here's Miss Stella. Hi, Miss Stella. And then Sully's cuddling with Mom. Are you sick? Or are you just being picky?
You didn't see the cool video I did of Sheldon today with the goggles.
Oh, gosh. Well, if you want to...
It's good at the end.
What do you think of this? Huh? Say bye-bye. Bye-bye.